So anyways, I'm driving my Fleetwood, and I decide I'm gonna have Sed give me a tour. I drive. And long story short, he took me to Belle Isle. He took me around the town. He took me to the $5 weed spot where you get nickel bags all day, no more than nickel bags. $5 was the most you could spend. Detroit was a city of $5. So when I say everybody had $20, they don't. Everybody has $5. Except me. Come the end of the story, I did not have $5. I did not have a clue what the I had done, what happened to me, or where I was going to go after this. Because I saw some shit in my 2 years in Detroit. Mostly I did it all. All the shit I saw done, I did it. I was the driver. That's my job. I'm just the driver. This is just my drugs. Those are just my girls. This is just me going to work. Because that was the game I played every day. Because I'm just going to work. It's no different than anybody else's job. I've got 2 jobs. Shit, it could be more. I got a real job. I fucking do landscaping. In the morning, I wake up and I go do landscaping. I work for a sod farm, and I install sod. I install grass. And in the afternoon, I go to Detroit, and I ferry girls to and from their job. Their job is to sell the fucking drugs, to do the fucking drugs, to fuck and suck and bring in that money. My job is to drive them there. My boss, the guy I just described, Cedric, the guy who showed me a good time, showed me the city, showed me Detroit. Well, the second go round, I had a Crown Victoria, and I'd let him borrow it. I'd let him borrow it for the weekend, and I'd get it back from him. This time I let him borrow it for an extended amount of time because I didn't have a job. He was doing most of the driving, just bringing me drugs. I was doing all right for myself at the time, and I could afford to have a driver, so I did. I did ecstasy, I did cocaine, I drank, all in my room in Milan, Michigan. On the wall was a painting, a canvas painting of my farm. By my farm, I mean my family's farm. The legacy of my family, my generational farm. It's as much mine as his. This is my generation. It's time for the baby boomers to die. So anyway, like I was saying, that makes me think of another story. My dad never fancies these stories to be good ones, but I ingratiate myself and I get involved with some of the craziest, scariest, not insane, some of the best people I've ever met. That's who I get involved with. If you're a good person, if you've got a good heart, I don't give a fuck if you're a mass murderer. Some of you are. Some of those that I call friend have killed many. For varying and different reasons. I don't kill. They kill. They kill for me. Who am I? I'm just the driver. Those are just my girls. That's just my gun that he's holding, that he kills people with. Who am I? So you wonder why it took so long for me to fucking even want to come out and say I did all this shit, because not only do half of you not believe it, the other half do believe it, and then a few of those are going to turn me in. Because what I do, I was a pimp. I was a pimp's associate. I was a pimp's hang-around. I was a pimp's driver. And then the pimp and my boss, same person, went to jail, went to prison, only for 3 months. Don't ask me how. He got caught with hella pounds of everything and doing the he was just a driver too thing. And he got caught up. Little white boy narked on him, told on him. That little white boy wasn't allowed in the house anymore. His girlfriend still came around though. His girlfriend was a little bitch. I can't even do that. The little miss, Molly. Yep, she's just a little miss. And she was probably about 22 years old, so a few years younger than me at the time. And she was pale white, good looking, and in danger. Because Bird was in prison, she came by. And little homie had to stay out in the car because fuck him, turn state's evidence on him or whatever. But Molly would never tell because she got the hookup. She was the one getting the drugs. It was the fucking boyfriend that told, and he could only tell so much, you know what I mean? He didn't know shit. Nobody knew shit. You know who did know shit, does know shit? Me. I knew too much. They told me so. They'd always tell me so. They say, hey, dude, you know too much. And like that, that's how they say it. Yo, Trev, you know too fucking much, man. And I did. Why? Because my brain is a sponge. Even fucking full of drugs, full of insanity, full of I don't give a fuck. I was learning. I was in a crash course of pimpology. Why? Because I didn't have nothing to live for. I didn't give a shit anymore. I didn't have my daughter. I didn't have my job. I didn't have my farm. I had a painting of it on my wall, and in walks Bird. I did not say he was going to bring anybody. I specifically told that motherfucker, don't you ever bring anybody to my apartment. But he thought this was different this time. I was pulling the car on him, and he was going to show me, hey, I got a job. This is my uncle right here. I got a job working for him. Or excuse me, this is my nephew right here. Bird was Cedric's nephew. And I said, no. This ain't about that. I got a job too. Fucking working. I got a job. I'm delivering shit for Home Depot. You got to give me that car. I'm delivering right now. I work for Home Depot. No, I don't work. I work for a general contractor. We delivered in the greater Detroit area. We delivered greater Detroit and in the city of Detroit. We delivered things from Home Depot. Anything you could order at Home Depot, large appliances, we deliver it to your house. So I did that for a time, and I needed my car, and because my car had one headlight out. I told him, you can have the Crown, you can have the freaking Cadillac. You can drive the Cadillac. He didn't want to drive the Cadillac now. Why? I crashed it. I crashed it huffing air duster. It's part of the story that I will skip. That's the part of the story that I will never fixate upon. The delusions and the things I saw while I was high on air duster were vivid. They were real, and I did not understand what they were at the time. I still don't, but I thought I did. I thought I knew what they meant at the time. They didn't mean shit. And then I needed to stop doing air duster. So I crashed my car. I left Walmart, took a hit at the stoplight, accelerated, and fucking off the other side of the road, through the oncoming lane of traffic, off into the ditch, and stopped, came to, and I was like, oh fuck, got out, ran a circle around my car, made sure it was good, jumped back in it, and I was gone. But that was before I went to Montana and got this Crown Victoria. I didn't want a pickup truck when I went to Detroit. My dad was so mad at me when I fucking traded that Ford Ranger. When I sold that Ford Ranger and I bought an old Crown Victoria. By old, I mean, at the time it was maybe 14 years old. It's the same age as my car I drive right now. It's not old. It has less miles on the car than the car I drive right now. It was not a bad car. That car never let me down, not once. It ran out of gas, yeah, but that was my fault. That car never let me down. That car kept me safe. That car was a battering ram. That car was a police undercover car. That car was sketchy. That car was scary. That car was stay the fuck away from my car looking car. It wasn't a I'm a drug dealer car. That's a I'm a cop car. And I wasn't a cop. I will always go back and say it. To the end of the days, I was never an informant. I never fucking informed on anybody. I never told on anybody. And while that shit was going down, I had your back. I would die for you motherfuckers, and you know it. But instead, you try to die for me. You try to kill for me. What the fuck is wrong with you? I ain't worth killing for. If anybody out there in this world wants to know one thing about me, is that I don't want nobody killing my fucking name. When I hear my friend Ben say, oh, I've got friends that'll kill for me, I say, yeah, me too. Look out for that. Because maybe they'll fucking offer to kill the mother of your child. Your father. Why? Because they heard your stories. They know my story. They listen to me. They believe me. Why? Because I was there. I was white boy Trev living in the ghetto of Detroit, selling drugs. Not fucking hoes. The only hoe I fucked in Detroit was Susie, and I brought her from Milan. Sorry about that, Susie Q. I hope you're not dead. I wouldn't be surprised if you're dead. Most of these people in this story are dead. And if they're not soon, they will be. If they aren't dead now, they will be soon. How about that? It's been 10 years. After a decade of silence, I'm going to go ahead and start talking about what happened in the city. what happens in the city, what it's like, what it used to be like and what it's like now. It used to be a mecca for blacks. It used to be a beautiful place where you go and make a good living as a black person. It does not exist there now. You cannot go to Detroit as a black person now and make a good living. If you stay in Detroit now and you're a black person, you are not making a good living because you can't leave. I was there. What? No, in the city? No, I was there. I couldn't leave either. I'm from a rich family, but my family, they got some different ideas about what love is. They like to call things enabling. They like to call things tough love. They like to say things like, sorry, Trevor, there's nothing I could do for you, when there was 100% something they could do for me. They could buy me that bus ticket the fuck out of there. I changed my mind. I want out. I'm ready. Get me the fuck out of here. I'm ready to go. I ain't got no car. I don't have no money. I don't have nothing. I'm fucking on the streets. I'm ready to go. Get me the fuck out of here. Fucking pull the wire. Pull the cord. Fucking, you know, fucking abracadabra, B. Get me the fuck out of there. That's the problem. You go in without a safety net. You go in without fucking backup. You think your family has your back. You are wrong. If you are me, you are wrong. Your family does not have your back. Your family's watching your back as you walk away, and they're like, he's fucked. I'm gonna show him how fucked he is by fucking rubbing his nose in it when he comes to us. So anyways, that reminds me of a sit down I had. Right before I had it, Bird called me and said, Trev, we need to talk. He never said that shit to me before. I said, about what? He said, about business. I said, okay. I called my dad. I said, hey, Dad, I've been fucking up. Not in a bad way. I've just been doing things wrong. My boss told me not to fucking do coke, not to do coke, and not to do drugs with the girls, and I was doing drugs with the girls. He told me don't let them sit in the front seat, and I was letting them sit in the front seat. He said, don't do this, and I did that. He said, don't do that, and I did that. Everything he said not to do, I did it. Why? Because I'm my own fucking dude, and I gotta find out for my own self why the reason is that you can't do that other thing. I can't just do it by habit. Eventually I will, but I gotta know why. With no understanding of a thing, I can have no understanding of a thing. With no knowledge, there is no understanding. Without knowledge, there is no understanding, and no knowledge comes secondhand. Not for me. It's called circumstantial evidence. Somebody else's word. No, I'm going to use my word. What's my word? My word, read the first pages. This is forensic evidence. I was creating a forensic evidence log with my writings, with my videos, with everything, at least in the beginning, until I was the one. You know what I mean? If you don't know what I mean, I was documenting what I was doing. I was laying it all down in video the first time around because I just wanted to see what this was about. I figured I would die there, and I wanted there to be a record. I didn't die there. I left the record, though. I unloaded my memory card, and I unloaded my SIM card, and I dumped them in a freaking flower bed right there on Livernois. Why? I thought I was gonna die, and they were gonna take my shit when I died and look at it. So I managed to get out of the car, out of the apartment for long enough to bury that shit in the view of security cameras. So if there was an investigation, or if those security cameras were working, they would have saw me because I signaled at them. That's the thing about security cameras. Unless something happens, they don't review that footage. So nothing happened. I didn't die. Sade and I didn't die. The murderer that was brought along to murder for the murderer, the hitman for the assassin, he did not kill us. It all worked out. Things just have a way of working out for me. I don't know if it's like that for you, probably not. So I wouldn't go to Detroit. I just take my word for it. I say, if you want to pimp hoes, carry guns, and shoot motherfuckers, don't go to Detroit. That's not what it's about.